6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Anjana Dodamgoda, assisted by Dilini, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President invites all government servants to show commitment to work to take the country towards prosperity. The Prime Minister urged the public servants to work together as inheritors of a nation with a bright future. The Urban Development and Housing Ministry is to construct 1,996 housing units. The PUCSL says it's not the appropriate time to go ahead with the proposed electricity tariff hike. Foreign news, Lula da Silva was sworn in as the President of Brazil. Sports cricket, Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a one-year extension to Mahela Jayawardena. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe invites all government servants to show commitment to work in order to take the country towards prosperity. Speaking at the commencement of duties in the new year at the President's Secretariat in Colombo today, the President said that the year 2023 is a decisive year and no one is expected to evade the responsibilities of the country. Despite some economic hardships, fuel, fertilizer and gas supply has restored to normalcy and the country's situation has become normal now. A systematic procedure must be followed toward debt, and economy must be strengthened to new world challenges and new political reforms are needed. The Prime Minister urged the public servants to work together as inheritors of a nation with a bright future. Speaking at the commencement of duties in the new year at the Prime Minister's office in Colombo today, he said, "This is the moment to announce the pledge and resolve to work with commitment for the betterment of the nation." The government, led by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, is committed to achieve the targets in the next 25 years on behalf of all the Sri Lankans with determination and a commitment to ensure reaching the goal by the time we mark 100 years of independence, he said. The Urban Development and Housing Ministry said that construction of 1,996 housing units under 5 housing projects for artists and low-income families will commence in the beginning of this year. These houses are constructed under a 552 million Chinese yuan loan agreed on January 9th last year. The ministry said 1,888 houses for low-income families and 108 houses for artists would be constructed under this project. The houses for low-income families will be constructed in Paliyagoda, Maharagama, Moratuwa and Dematakoda, and the housing project for artists will be located in Kottawa. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The chairman of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Janaka Ratnayaka, said it is not the appropriate time to go ahead with the proposed electricity tariff hike. Speaking to the staff of the first working day of 2023, Ratnayaka said that on multiple occasions the political authority had attempted to do away with the independence of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. He said that if the cabinet gives the green light to a proposal that is harmful to the people, the PUCSL will not hesitate to reject the decision, adding if the tariff hike is requested according to accepted norms, it would be considered. Former British Prime Minister David Cameron, who is on a personal visit to Sri Lanka, met President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. During a friendly discussion, Mr. Cameron extended his best wishes to President Wickremesinghe for the new year. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Defence Secretary said the effective measures taken by the Ministry of Defence and its affiliated agencies in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Police against drug trafficking has dealt a heavy blow on drug smuggling operations in the country. Such preventive measures have had a huge impact on the society, said Defence Secretary General retired Kamal Gunratna while addressing the staff of the Ministry of Defence, expressing gratitude to the armed forces and the police for their role in maintaining public safety and continuity of essential services during the recent social unrest. He said that they provided necessary support to prevent the country from becoming politically unstable and anarchic. And that ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
On Watchlight, Director Expert Dr. Kumar Wickramasinghe told Colombo National Hospital at least 67 individuals have been admitted to National Hospital owing to injuries caused due to various accidents that occurred with the beginning of the year 2023. Among the reported accidents, there were 17 road accidents, 4 firecracker accidents, 18 accidents due to falls, and 3 people were injured due to disputes. Only yesterday, 42 people were admitted to Colombo National Hospital for treatment due to road accidents, 64 people due to falls, and 37 people due to personal conflicts. And that was Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. Lula da Silva is sworn in as the President of Brazil for the third tenure. Former Pope's lying in state begins at the Vatican. And chaos at Manila Airport due to power outage, thousands stranded. Lula da Silva was sworn in as the President of Brazil on Sunday. His first address expressed optimism about plans to rebuild while pledging that members of outgoing Jair Bolsonaro's administration will be held to account. Lula is assuming office for the third time after thwarting far-right incumbent Bolsonaro re-election bid. His return to power marks the culmination of political comeback, that is, thrilling supporters and engaging opponents of a fiercely polarized nation. Tens of thousands of people are expected to pay their respect to former Pope Benedict XVI when his lying in state begins at the Vatican later. He died at the age of 95, almost a decade after he stood down because of ill health. His body will be displayed for 3 days in an open casket at St. Peter's Basilica with people allowed to pay their respects. The funeral will take place at St. Peter's Square before Pope Emeritus is laid to rest in the tombs beneath the basilica. A power outage hit Manila Airport in Philippines on New Year's Day, affecting 300 flights and leaving thousands stranded on Sunday. Nearly 300 domestic and international flights at the Manila Airport in the Philippines were either delayed, cancelled or diverted, causing misery for over 65,000 passengers, the Associated Press reported. And back to the headlines of the world news. Lula da Silva is sworn in as the President of Brazil for the third tenure. Former Pope's lying in state begins at the Vatican. And chaos at Manila Airport due to power outage, thousands stranded. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
With the intervention of Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation, Nimal Sitipala de Silva, the 2 dredgers at the Port of Colombo, the Akola and Hansakawa have resumed operations. It was reported to the minister that the 2 dredgers belonging to the Sri Lanka Ports Authority and deployed at dredging operations of the Port of Colombo had ceased dredging and sludge removal operations of the port due to a shortage of trained operators. The minister in person visited the 2 dredgers anchored at the Bandaranaike Quay and also made a special tour on board Hansakawa to inspect ongoing development work on the port waters. And that was Development News. On to sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a one-year extension to Mahela Jayawardena as consultant coach of Sri Lanka's men's senior team as well as the men's under-19 and Sri Lanka A team starting yesterday. His main duty is to focus on national team ODI World Cup and next year under-19 World Cup. Jayawardena was roped in last year to be in charge of the overall cricketing element of the national teams and also provided strategic support for players and management teams at SLC's High Performance Centre. The board seems to be happy with Jayawardena's contribution to the game, particularly at the under-19 level, and that was sports news.
Let us turn this difficult time that we are facing now to a positive opportunity. We must rise up as a nation in 2023. NSB will extend its fullest support for you to rise with confidence. NSB, the safest place for you.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
First Capital Research says, considering the solid order book of Haley's Fabric plc and gradual shift in order from China to other destinations through the China Plus One Energy, they broadly maintain their revenue target for Haley's Fabric plc at 66.4 billion Sri Lankan rupees for financial year 2023, while marginally lowering their expectation for financial year 2024 to 75.5 billion Sri Lankan rupees. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank.
Let us turn this difficult time that we are facing now to a positive opportunity. We must rise up as a nation in 2023. NSB will extend its fullest support for you to rise with confidence. NSB, the safest place for you.
Economic News, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
In economic news, Sri Lanka's shares gained in midday trade on the first day of 2023. The market has been buying interest fueled after the holiday season came to an end. Analysts say buying interest has come in on retail and life insurance counters after comments made by the governor on interest rates coming down. Sri Lanka's 12-month inflation in the capital Colombo eased to 57.2% in December 2022 from 61% in November as prices started to stabilize after interest rates were allowed to go up and the exchange rate was pegged around 360 to the US dollar. And that was economic news.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LONC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Weather report.
Mainly fair weather will prevail over the island. Cold weather can be expected during the early morning. There is a possibility of ground frost at some places in the Nuwara Eliya district during the early hours of the morning. This weather report was published this evening at 12:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather was cloudy. Today's daytime temperature was observed to be around 31 degrees Celsius. Tonight temperature will be around 22 degrees Celsius. And there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 29 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index, AQI, is 28. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. However, sensitive groups may experience minor to moderate symptoms from long-term exposure. And that was the weather report. And before we conclude this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The President invites all government servants to show commitment to work to take the country towards prosperity. The Prime Minister urged the public servants to work together as inheritors of a nation with a bright future. The Urban Development and Housing Ministry is to construct 1,996 housing units. The PUCSL says it's not the appropriate time to go ahead with the proposed electricity tariff hike. Foreign news, Lula da Silva was sworn in as the President of Brazil. Sports cricket, Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a 1-year extension to Mahela Jayawardena. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.